Over the past week, in just 1 week, I have received over a dozen messages and emails from people saying they can't afford their rent. Why? Why is this? Well, here's the reason why. And I want to give a warning to all renters. Currently, there's about 53 million American households that rent. And of those renters, roughly 18% of them are behind on their payments in some way. Whether it's, just a couple $100 behind, a month behind, possibly 3 months or 6 months behind. There's 18%. That means out of 53 million American households, 9.5 million households are currently behind on payments. Let that sink in. 9.5 million households are currently behind on payments. Also factor in that about 20 million households are behind in utility payments. So if you factor that in, there's about 30 million households combined that are behind in payments. That could really mess people up. Now, I want to, and again, if that wasn't shocking enough, let's talk about some other issues. Number one, rents are only going to go up. They're only going to get more expensive. And I want to address why, because I've been getting this question quite a bit. If we're in a recession, if the American people are struggling, why are rents still going up? If we're in a recession, shouldn't rents be going down? The answer is yes. But here's the reason why rents are actually going up. And again, I've talked about this before, but this is the really concerning part because we're nowhere near the end. Nowhere. Here's what's happening right now. Right now, we have very high inflation. It's at 8.3%. I know it's come down from the peak of 9.1. It was 8.5 last month. It is currently 8.3. That's good. Here's the problem. As inflation stays fairly high, the Federal Reserve has to come in and raise rates in order to get consumer spending down, in order to pretty much push the economy into as close to a recession as possible without actually going into a recession. Well, according to recent reports, many experts are now expecting we will not be in a recession. We're going to be forced into a depression, even worse. Now, what does this mean? Well, what we know is that what the Federal Reserve has been doing of raising rates at 25 basis points, 50 basis points, and even most recently 75 basis points, this isn't working. They have to do more. This means they'll have to raise rates even faster. And as they raise rates, what happens is less people can afford to buy a home because rates are going so high. Now, when less people can afford to buy a home, that means demand for rentals increases. And again, we go back to the supply and demand principles. If supply stays the same, but demand goes up, this means that prices are going to follow. When demand stays the same and supply actually goes up, this means that prices drop. All right? So keep that in mind because, again, that's what everything is coming to at this point. Now, just so happened that over the past 24 hours, mortgage rates topped 6%. This is the highest level they have been since November of 2008. Now, if you know anything about history, anything about what happened in 2008, this was our financial crisis, the housing crisis. This is when everything just hit rock bottom. Now, not only are we seeing the highest level of highest mortgage rates since 2008, we're also seeing rents increase at the fastest pace since 1991. Again, these are major problems. So if you are currently behind on rent, now's the time to do whatever you can to fix it. Get ahead, okay? Get caught up. Just make sure you cannot be evicted from your apartment. You don't want to be kicked out, okay? Because I can tell you right now, I've talked to many people, finding a decent apartment at this point in time is very difficult. Not only is it difficult to find one, but then you got to put up a first month's, last month's, and a security deposit just to get in. Yeah, it's almost impossible for lower income and middle income households. But here's the problem. Rents are only going to go up. Okay? Now, it might get better soon, but that's not what people are expecting. And it might only actually be a matter of time before your rent increases if it hasn't done so already. And if you are currently struggling just to pay your rent or your utilities, now's the time to make some changes. And I actually addressed this morning. I wasn't going to talk about it in this video, but I might as well do it. I was talking about one of my courses. It's called Thrift Store Profits. I normally sell it for $47. Okay, it's a great little course. Highly recommend it if you want to know how to buy very inexpensive items at thrift stores and yard sales. I show you how to do that. Flip those items over to eBay and sell them. I show you over 67 profitable items you can buy right now and make some money on. Now, I normally sell this for $47, but being that today is my 35th birthday, I took $35 off. So as long as you use the link down in the description box below, you get $35 off, which means it only costs you $12. So if you want to go ahead and get that and be on your way, help you make a little bit extra money, now's the time to do it. But here's what I want to discuss. Is there any help for renters? Yes and no. There's some help out there. There are still some areas of the country that have some rental assistance program still available. There's still money to be used. But again, there's not a lot. Most programs that I've seen and heard of have actually run out of money. We've also heard of different local programs where you can get your rent paid if you volunteer for some of their programs. So it's kind of like you volunteer, we help you out. So it's almost like a job. But again, it's going to help. But here's why I say that the answer is no. There's not a lot of help out there. And it's simply because as of right now, the expectation is that rents are going to increase because mortgages are going to increase in price. As the interest rates increase and it costs more money to buy a home, it means less people are going to buy. They're going to wait on the sideline, keep cash, and they will just rent. But again, as more renters are hitting the markets, guess what happens? Yeah, rents go up. They are only going to go up. So, my warning to all you guys that are currently renting or looking to rent, expect to pay more. Expect to pay a little bit more over the next probably 6 months. 6 to 12 months, expect to pay more. And then when we see housing just completely crash, expect we will not see rents drop initially until those leases are up. Once those current leases are up, this is when landlords will go back and see, hey, can I rent it for the same amount? In most cases, no. Because now you got all this additional inventory of houses hitting the market, ready to be sold. Okay, so that's what you got to watch for. So again, that's my warning to you guys as of today. Again, thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.